Today we're going to be doing an oil change on Twix, my 2008 JKU. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have our supplies. So we have our oil, we have our oil filter, and we have a place to put the oil. We recommend 5W40 because it's actually better for the longevity of your Jeep, especially if you have a JK, because they're normally high mile at this point. Things we use to do the oil change: we have the oil, we have a funnel, oil filter, we have a socket wrench with a size 14, we have a breaker bar, we have a larger socket wrench with a size, with a 1 inch. We have a light so we can be inspecting underneath the Jeep. So when you're doing the oil change, it's a really good idea to check out the other stuff because you're already down there. We've got some rags, we have the pan that the oil went in, and we have the box to dispose of the oil. Since I'm working at a shop and we're constantly working on vehicles, doing engine swaps, all kinds of stuff, I don't know who was grinding or what was going on the floor before I got here. So I always use a leaf blower to clean up the area before I go down there. That helps to make sure that when I get down there and I'm laying on it, that I'm not getting metal shards or little wire wheel pieces in my back, which suck. Trust me, it's happened. So underneath the Jeep, you're gonna have your oil pan, and this is the bolt that holds your oil in. Mine is a 14. Mine is red, and it's actually also magnetic, so that way if there's any metal that's in your oil, you'll be able to see it really easily. We recommend doing that. You might have to use a breaker bar. We're gonna try without. Yep. Gonna need to use a breaker bar. Okay. Once it breaks, it should be able to hand out. I have these big bowl to hopefully catch it. It might splat, so hide your face. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. And see, this is also great because then it doesn't end up in your pan and you have to fish it out. Oh my god, that's not helpful. I just get oil on my face. Oh, look at that, little splashes. I don't know if you can see, but there is a tiny, tiny little bit of metal on there. Can you see that? Do you believe the wind? Look at this mess the wind made. Look at this. Look at that. That's all from the wind. Look, it went all the way onto my freaking tire. This is the wind. Thank you, wind. That's super helpful right now. Once the oil all drains out and there's no more dripping, you can see there's just a little tiny bit still coming out. But what you want to do is you want to put this back in. I'm going to wipe it off. Because it's really important that you make sure you put it back in. If you don't forget, because a lot of people do that, where they just they'll go take the oil filter off and they'll go refill the oil right away. A whole bottle of oil on their driveway because they didn't put the bolt back in. So make sure you do that. And it doesn't need to be crazy tight. You definitely don't want to strip this bolt. That's actually really inconvenient if you strip this bolt. And so just be real careful doing that. Thread it in. You see I threaded that all the way in with my hand. I'm just going to tighten it with the wrench. That's it. Just a little bit tight. So here in Hawaii, we actually have a really weird thing that we do with our engine oil. So you can bring it to auto parts stores. A lot of stores will actually allow you to bring your old oil there to like recycle it. But here in Hawaii, we actually just throw it in the trash. It's super weird and it took a while for us to get used to it. So you have these boxes, and if you can see on here, it tells you like all the information about it. And it's actually for motor oil. And it absorbs 22 quarts of motor oil. And what you do is you just pour the oil into this box with this, I don't know, ripped up cardboard or something. This absorbs it, you close it up, and you throw it into your trash can. But okay, whatever, that's how they want us. What we're gonna do is we're going to put the oil into this box. And however you get rid of oil where you are, make sure you're getting rid of it the correct way, and you're doing the environmentally safe way, and also following your local laws. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our oil from the pan into this big box. And while we're doing that, we're going to look at the oil and make sure there's no chunks of anything. If anything happens with your engine, there might be chunks in your oil. So this actually looks not too bad. I think these are all bubbles. Oh, that's a metal piece. That's a piece of something. There's something.
Just a little piece of debris.
But most of these are all bubbles.
But there's no metal glitter.
There's no glitter. So if it looks shiny and glittery, it's not good. Glitter is normally a good thing, not when it's coming from your engine. And you can see this is all bubbles just from it coming out. And then we kind of just let this hang out in here. Get all of the oil out. And this, see, it just kind of absorbs all of it. And now, since the wind splattered oil everywhere, I gotta go clean that up. This is your oil filter. These are K&N oil filters, and they actually have a nut on them, so you can take them off easily. Ow! We do have the oil pan underneath, so that way when oil comes out of there. So what we also do is the oil filter, the new one, when you're gonna put it on there, we're gonna put some new oil in it before we put it on there. So that way when you start your vehicle for the first time, it's not like a dry start, there's already oil in here. I'm not gonna fill it all the way because the oil filter goes in like this, so if you fill it all the way, the oil's gonna come out, so you're just gonna put some of it in there. And then you put the oil filter on. This is the old one, I forgot to tell you, but before we put the oil filter on, we'll actually take some of the oil and we'll kind of get it all over the seal like this. Put the oil on here so that way when we're taking it off, it'll actually come off a little bit easier because it won't seize. You're just gonna hand tighten this one. Again, you don't want to have it over tightened so that way you damage anything. This right here is where you're gonna put the oil back in. I recommend using a funnel. You want to pour really slowly, otherwise it will overwhelm the funnel and it will spill out. So very slow, let everything get in there. Watch the funnel, make sure the funnel is not overfilling. Second bottle. The 3.8 takes about 1.5 gallons. The 3.6 takes normally around 1 gallon. Now we're going to check the oil to see how much oil I have. So to make sure we have enough oil, there's enough oil in there. As much of that oil out as we can. Put cap back on. A lot of oil filters come with these little things that you can put on your window. So you write down the date, your current mileage, and when your next oil change is gonna be. Make sure you do this, or you write down where your last oil change was, you put an alarm on your phone, something like that, because you wanna make sure that you are doing your oil changes on the regular intervals, whichever ones you use for your vehicle, because it's really important for the longevity of your engine. To reset the change oil indicator on your dashboard, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the key in, turn it to run, do not start the vehicle, then you're gonna press the gas or the accelerator 3 times, you're gonna turn the key off. Then if you have doors, you can open your door, close your door, it'll reset everything. If you do not have doors, like I don't have doors, I have to wait for everything to reset, then you can turn your vehicle on and actually start it, and then check to make sure that the change oil indicator is gone. So let's do that. We're gonna put the key in, turn it all the way to run, vehicle's not start, gas pedal, 1, 2, 3, turn the vehicle off, take the key out, let's see if it worked. Okay, let's see if it worked. So I'm doing the oil change. I'm on 40-inch tires with a big lift. And you can see I'm actually kind of somewhat comfortably able to access my engine. So we have a little secret. These benches or these steps are amazing. So this is what we use whenever I'm working on the engine, so you can see I can actually access it. And then even at this point I am very short, so it is still kind of hard to get to stuff, but this helps a lot.